can we look, please, at his letter, Sir Alan's letter to you, of the 20th of May 2010. You'll see that it's on Justice for Sub-Postmasters Alliance paper addressed to you directly. It's dated the 20th of May, which is the very day you took up office, as we said already. Is that right?
Yes.
And if we just read it, he says, I'm writing to you with regard to your position as Minister of Postal Affairs on behalf of the JFSA. We're an independent group of ex and serving sub-postmasters who suffered at the hands of the Post Office and their Horizon system ever since it was first installed. Our website outlines how we came about and our aims, as well as offering sample cases that were provided by some of the group. I'm writing to you on behalf of the group. I'm asking for a meeting where we can present our case to you. Much has appeared in the press over the last few days that government is going to change. I only hope that is true. If it is, the abuse of sub-postmasters that have been going on under the protection of the previous government may well come to an end. So would you agree that, to summarise the letter, Sir Alan outlines the issue, he signposts you to further information and asks for a meeting?
That's what the letter says.
Yeah. He was asking for an opportunity to present his case to you?
He was indeed.
He just wanted an audience?
Yes.
Would you agree that these are not unreasonable requests, put politely but with force?
They're not unreasonable.
Can we look at your reply, please? 31st of May, dear Alan Bates, we'll see that it's signed by you. Underneath there is your signature. Thank you for your letter of the 20th of May requesting a meeting to discuss the Post Office Horizon system. Since 2001, when the Royal Mail, which includes the Post Office, was set up as a public limited company with the government as its only shareholder, government has adopted an arm's-length relationship with the company, so it has the commercial freedom to run its business operations without interference from the shareholder. The integrity of the Post Office Horizon system is an operational and contractual matter for Post Office and not government. Whilst I do appreciate your concerns and those of Alliance members, I do not believe a meeting would serve any useful purpose. Would you agree that this is a rather terse reply, in particular the line, I do not believe that a meeting would serve any useful purpose?
Yes, it is a terse reply. If I may, though, Mr. Beer, refer you to my written statement, because I can't remember actually reading his original letter. I remember, as we'll come to, no doubt, reading his second letter and taking the view that I should meet him. But I think if I had read that first letter, I would have remembered it because it was forceful and made a case. But I'm afraid that is my memory, and all I can do is go from my memory. I have apologised and repeat that apology for not meeting Mr. Bates on the basis of his first letter.
You tell us in your witness statement that the letter, the one we're looking at, was drafted by officials for you, is that right?
Yes.
It was nonetheless approved by you and signed by you?
Yes.
So it may be that you didn't even see the letter in. It may be that the only thing that you saw was this letter and you signed it.
That may be the case. I'm sorry I can't be more definite, but we're talking about a long time ago. I just started my post and I was signing a huge number of letters, and I was reliant on the advice of officials. I just apologise that if that was not the case, and I had read it and I wrote this as reply because it is terse.
If you only had the letter out, i.e. the thing that we're looking at the moment, how could you judge whether it was an appropriate reply or not?
I was being based on the advice of officials.
But it didn't come with any advice. All it came with was a letter in draft, as we see here, without the handwriting at the beginning and the end.
Yes, but when you are going through your file of letters, you assume they'd been written, and I was told they were written on the basis of advice from both policy officials and those responsible for that area of policy.
In some cases, there's a ministerial sub, isn't there? i.e., there's a cover paper which says, this is the issue, this is the recommendation, these are the facts, these are the options sometimes, and here is a proposed draft reply, i.e. so you're given a briefing and some context before being asked to sign the letter off?
That's very rare. The vast majority of cases in the letter file within the red box, and I say in my statement on the average there'll be 20 to 25 letters in any one red box, the vast majority were by themselves without any submission. A submission would be very rare.
So the likelihood is on your evidence that you neither received a briefing in order to judge the accuracy and appropriateness of this reply, nor even the letter in to see what you were responding to.
I definitely didn't receive a submission. I'm saying I may have received the original letter, but I really can't remember it. And I think if I had, I would have remembered it.
The second line from the end says, whilst I do appreciate your concerns of the and those of the Alliance members, doesn't that indicate, because it's personalising it, that you are likely to have seen the letter?
Well, I do indeed say that in paragraph 97.
Yes.
In my written
and I'm
statement.
asking you now, is that right? It's likely that you did see the letter in?
It's possible, because what I've been doing in preparing my statement is trying to think back 14 years to a letter that I wrote amongst many others at a very early stage in my ministerial post. And I just genuinely can't remember. But you're right, that phrase suggests I might have done, but I just can't recall, and I apologise for that.
This letter takes the line that Horizon is an operational and contractual matter, which is for Post Office and not government. And that follows Post Office being an arm's length body, given freedom to run its commercial operations without interference by government.
Yeah, and that follows the logic that I'm trying to get over, that I was following the advice of officials, and this was the advice of officials on many occasions in relation to this matter.
Can we look at your witness statement, please? Page 24. Paragraph 101 and 102 at the foot of the page. You say, on reflection and with the benefit of hindsight, I'm really sorry that I followed the advice and did not question it. And I can also see why Sir Alan took offence at the phrase, I do not believe a meeting would serve any useful purpose. It was poorly judged, and I apologise to Sir Alan for signing it off. I should have accepted Sir Alan's request for a meeting when he first made it. However, I remain unconvinced that an earlier meeting would have changed the course of events. I expect that I would have put the same questions to my officials and Post Office and received the same categorical assurances about the integrity of Horizon that I did later that year. The hindsight that you're bringing into account there, is that essentially, and I'm summarising greatly here, that the substance of the matters that Sir Alan was complaining about was correct?
That has clearly turned out to be the case.
Yes. So that's what the hindsight is referring to here.
Yeah, the hindsight that we now have, because we now know many, many things that I did not know back then.
Your reflection, with the benefit of hindsight, shows, would you agree, that there wasn't an inflexible rule, less still an inflexible rule of law that prevented you from becoming involved, was there?
No, there wasn't, because as we are no doubt about to go, when I had the second letter from Mr. Bates, I didn't have any advice on that, but I decided I was going to see him. So I exercised that flexibility then.